Want me to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is our August 24th Curriculum Committee meeting. Tim is unable to attend today, so he put me in charge, so be careful. In attendance, we have Karen, Kelly, Rachel, Frank, and myself. And Frank, I think you had a list of items. Do you want to just go after them, or is there anything else you want to do first? Or
Yeah, no, I didn't get any updates, so I'm just going to go through the list of items if that's good.
That's awesome. Is that okay with you, Rachel? Okay, she said yes.
Great. Why don't we just start with the textbook and new text material adoption? Karen, do you want to lead that one?
I would love to. This is a brand new process, as you know. We have a request in for a new 8th grade textbook, new text, I should say, not textbook. And it is not going to actually replace, even though if you look on this, it says it may replace Anne Frank. It is not. It's going to be taught along with Anne Frank. Anne Frank's not particularly long. And this, we're hoping, will give even more depth and richness to the unit that Ms. Kramer does. I believe she's got a pretty good summary there. She's done the anti-bias checklist and done that very thoroughly. If you go to the part where it says trade books only, she has talked about the criteria using the model of literary elements, and it looks to me, I have not read this book, but it is pretty rich. She explains explicitly how she's going to use and teach the literary elements through this text. We have the full support of her department chair, and they really like the connection to social studies with this book. And where's that? Aligns with the inclusivity framework as well, and the work that we're doing with diversity and inclusivity. So I'm in support of this, but I wanted to pass the entire piece along for you guys to read and get a sense out of it in case you have any questions or any follow-up that you'd like us to do.
I'm a support. I think it's great. And I like that it gets the Syria aspect in there too, and gives a little bit more context than what's been done in the past. So I think it's great that they're branching out, trying to get new things in.
Yeah, and bring it right up to a more modern day persecution and understanding of refugees and
what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very relevant.
I appreciated how complete it was. It made me feel like I understood what she was trying to do. I'm not sure how the process works now. You just vet it through us, and then we have to take it to the full board.
Yeah, now we just go for an acceptance on a resolution to accept it so we can purchase it and we move on. So that's it.
And Karen, are you getting, Karen or Kelly, I don't know who this question is directed to, maybe just in general, how is this process working as far as the timeline in which she needs the turnaround?
This is the second one we've had. So let's be honest. She needs it in the spring.
She needs it in the spring.
We just got it. It's on now, and it's going to be approved at the next meeting. Perfect timeline.
It shouldn't be an issue. She actually has taught it this year because we had the ability to do a 1-year kind of pilot through our library electronic services. And so we looked at it and I said, that's not done. We still need to go through the official process if this is something we're going to officially do. And so she did that, and here we are. So I don't think the timing's bad at all. It's our first meeting. Right?
Excellent.
Great.
So, all right.
Great.
So moving on. Perfect. We'll put it on for a resolution.
Please thank her. It was well done.
It was well done, wasn't it?
Easy to understand. Yeah.
I like it because as superintendent, at least I know it shows that there's an alignment there from, like, we talk about board goals and equity and all these other things. That curriculum really, like, they say, hey, here's what we're doing. It really shows that there's an alignment, and I like that. Like, it's nice to see that we're doing things that you can see where the connection of our goals are, pretty clear.
And she was one of the people on our Equity Institute trainings.
It all ties back, doesn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, let's talk about Progression Partners.
Yeah, we have, I'm excited because we're expanding our professional development with Progression Partners. As you know, things got cut a little short because of COVID and the way things we were able to get through. We weren't able to do the equity walks last end of spring into June because there just weren't enough students here on campus for her to see everything that was going on. So I just sent out a couple dates to the principals, looking at hoping for the week after Indigenous Peoples, Columbus Day, that week. So the 13th and 14th of October. But that has to be, still, I know she's got that time free there where Ria, our consultant, would spend a day at the secondary level campus and a day at the elementary doing walkthroughs and listening to what goes on and providing us with some feedback. So that is something that we're setting up for this fall. But when we come back to school on September 1st and 2nd with our teachers and TAs and staff, we will have a 2-hour session on each of those superintendent conference days. And that will be doing some of that foundational work. Kelly, you'll remember in our PD committee, we talked about, do we push right into the practical stuff because people want to get into that? And as we talked, we really decided it's worth taking the time to do foundational laying that groundwork. So there's going to be 2 hours on September 1st, 2 hours on September 2nd. That will be done virtually for everyone. But the people who have been a part of the Equity Institute training, the leadership groups who have already gone through that foundational training, we have a second consultant who will be doing some culturally responsive teaching and working with us on kind of those next steps for teachers, what some practical things could be done in the classroom, for admin who are part of that team, how to support the teachers, what to look for, those kinds of things. So I'm excited that there'll be like kind of, phase 2 beginning for those teachers and admin. Then we have, I think we have a date in March for our next superintendent conference day. That's planned out. And we'll be doing some more equity action planning. So we have some time being built in for each of those teams to come back. And we're hoping that the plans will be, even though we'll be talking about those probably in the fall, really be able to roll them out in January and move forward on those plans. And of course, we'll have the data from the equity walks. So that work will be, I think, in November, an hour with each of the teams. And this is coming from our Title IV grant.
So there's a good alignment throughout the year. I think the telling thing was today is I asked the new staff, the new teachers, how many of them have actually done, because we have staff that work in other districts who's actually had equity training and equity and inclusivity. And we talked about, how it's more than race. It's the grander scope of all protected classes. One new staff member has had training. There are other districts, and I'm talking teachers who've worked for 12 years in other places, 0. And they were actually pretty excited. Awesome. Thinking that, they were like, oh, this is great. We're actually going to do this. And they asked about how this all came about. And I said, it started with our board policy. It was interesting to see their remarks from our new staff. They actually enjoyed the fact that we're having this as an initiative in our district. So, and then really, Karen and I, it's new for we've had a lot of work to do over the year, and we haven't really hit the curriculum stuff yet, to be honest with you. Summer's been a little different for the past couple weeks in August, as you know. But so, we are going to move forward with a lot of different things. We are working out the rollout of the prioritized standards and curriculum alignment. We do have prioritized standards to give out to all K-8 staff, so they don't have to do that. I know that's one thing. Why do we have to go through the work of doing this? It's that one more step that we're giving our teachers to, make them feel more comfortable and confident as we're doing alignment, and taking out a step where it's kind of busy work and they can actually kind of do a little bit more and get into it. We know what the exact vision of how we're going to do a curriculum alignment for the year is? No, I don't. Because, I think we as good leaders have to measure our staff. We know that we want to have alignment. We know we want to work on this, but we also need to test the waters as we go and see where people are. So if I'm going to tell you in November we're here, in December we're here, in a typical year I would. I'm not doing that this year. I just don't feel comfortable in it. But we definitely have a plan. We are working on it. We have Shauna. She's working on how we're going to do this with a computer document like Google Doc or something, so we can streamline it for our staff. There will be conversations K-12. We're working through that, but a set agenda and time frame throughout the year, I'm not there because I don't think our staff would really need that right at the moment. But it is a plan for the year. And then we really still want to look at our reading programs. We wanted to investigate a reading program at our elementary school. I know this was something that was started a couple of years ago. We want to go back to that again and really invest some time into looking at a reading program for elementary school. It's something that's needed from what I've been told. And we want to make sure we do it right. So we are going to get a group together and start reinvesting into that. But that's really, there's other stuff, but curriculum-wise, that's the big stuff.
That was easy.
Yeah. Any questions, comments, anything?
I think the only thing Tim and I had mentioned that we should bring up today is our future meeting dates. I know last year we went to every other month or as needed. I didn't know how you felt, what you would like, and what you might need for support to help you move forward.
I was wondering if we could keep it for next month.
Okay.
And then reevaluate there, because I don't know what the end of the week will bring at this point,
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like the governor said, there'll be forthcoming information. I don't know what that information is.
Okay.
And I think after the staff come back and we start having a little bit more in-depth conversations with our staff through September, I think things will kind of work itself out a little bit more. So I'd like to see where we are.
That works for me. That's good with you, Rachel?
Yeah, I was just thinking the word you used was support, and that was really key. Like, what can we be doing as a committee to support what's going on at the school? Being available, but we don't have to have a meeting if it's not necessary at all. So I'm happy to keep a monthly meeting on the books just so it's there. And personally, when a meeting is canceled, it's just found time. So if that works for you guys, that's totally fine with me. If we make the decision whether or not it's needed to help in some way or to move something along, then we can keep it. If it's not, found time.
I think one of the big things is we'll have to just review the data that comes in the September.
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking that's going to be important for us is we review the data that we had 2 years prior and review what data we have now before we do a board presentation, because that will really affect curriculum.
Okay. Perfect. But yeah, I agree with Rachel. We only want to meet if we can help you, but we're not here to add to your schedules if it's not needed. So
We love that, just so you know. I can tell by Kelly's face, Karen's mind, like, yes, all right.
Right. Yeah. So, and Kelly, did you have anything that we didn't cover or you need to? No.
No, I hope that the textbook request form was not cumbersome for Rachel.
Right.
Fourth grade team, we had completed one and it was not cumbersome for us. I hope that that was her experience as well. So, I hope that if we do find hiccups along the way that we can refine the process, but she certainly put a lot of work into it. And
I will say, when you're looking at an English language arts text, there tends to be more work because you have the literary component to it at the end, those trade books. So that, you didn't have to do that with the social studies piece, but.
so that's what my only question is it a time-consuming process for the teacher? I don't have the answer to that.
Right. So maybe, when you have conversations, if you could ask about that and keep us apprised if it's working for them.
Yeah, but I also, on the flip side, in order to do something right, sometimes it is going to be a little time consuming and making sure that we have a process. So I think there's got to be a happy medium somewhere in the middle.
Right, but I think it's okay to have those conversations and maybe there is something that could have been done that still get the same information, but
Exactly.
in a timely manner. That's all. I'm not trying to eliminate the process, just make sure that we're keeping it.
Yeah. And that could be also done with your
also, because we're looking at grades 7 through 12, 6 through 12. There's department chairs that can also.
That's exactly where I was going. That could be a conversation with your chair as you're writing it out, thinking about that brainstorming. Yeah.
It could be 2 people doing it instead of 1.
Yeah.
When you look at that kind of stuff for, the department chair should be endorsing that anyways. So.
And that's also probably part of the reason that it was not cumbersome in 4th grade, because we did work as a team to complete it. So again, that's really just a question of, did she feel comfortable with the process?
Right.
I did not hear otherwise, so I hope that you didn't either, Karen.
Right. She did a lot of work for sure with that. And anybody who needs help with that, I sat down with your team to be sure that you guys would understand in case. And I think a couple things came up just in terms of language on the form to make sure it was clear so that people would understand what it was we were looking for. That came up with your group, remember?
Absolutely. And having you sit with us so that we didn't get it kicked back.
Yeah.
Saved
exactly.
everybody time. We appreciated that. So, that was good.
No, and I think one other really important thing about PD, just so I want to say it, and this is completely opposite of what Kelly's saying, is that on September 1st, we're actually having a barbecue on our opening day. We have staff bringing in like cornhole and canned jam, and for an hour, we have hot dogs and hamburgers and staff up on a high school property, just, talking and playing some games for a while. We do need that sometimes to get back into motion. So, so we're taking our lunch break and hopefully having a good time doing so.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
All right. I think that's our fastest meeting ever. Rachel, you don't have anything else, right?
No, I have nothing. What day is it that you guys are having the barbecue?
September 1st.
Awesome.
Well, thank
Well,
you. Happy summer, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye,
Summer. Enjoy the rest
Happy
of your summer.
summer.
All right.
Take care.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.
Hey,